You were the first few analysts that warned about the neon supply disruption. Now it's a month into the war. Has your forecast changed?
Well, what we said early on was that depending on how long the war continued, this could be extremely disruptive for the supply chain. It could limit the ability for chip production to continue growing. And that is still true. And we starting to hear some complaints about supply and availability. So right now we're a month into it. My thinking is that most chip companies will have maybe a month's supply, maybe 6 weeks. Larger ones will have more supply, inventory that is, and smaller ones will have less. So once we hit the 4-week mark, things are going to start getting extremely strained little by little. And if we go 2 months, things will definitely be starting to slow as a result of the war. So we'll see what happens. If a company could all of a sudden produce more neon and purify it over 8-week period of time, then it would be no problem. But that is not physically possible. It requires more time, more expense in order to generate the amount of neon that has been interrupted from coming out of the Ukraine. As anybody knows, when you have one bowl of candy and the bowl breaks and some falls on the floor and you have to throw it away, but you have the same number of people that you have to feed, then everybody's trying to grab onto that, what's left over. And that's what's happening now. So while China has some production capability, maybe even equal to the Russians in terms of neon capture, this problem is creating imbalance in the supply chain, in that demand is going to be going after what is available. Supply is already very tight. Semiconductor industry has been expanding and lots of investment going in, especially in the Western world. So supply is extremely tight right now across all the various material segments. I mean, we don't just cover neon, but we take a look at what chemicals, all sorts of different specialty gases, semiconductor precursors, chemical mechanical polishing slurries. We cover market research on all of those areas.
Is there a quick solution for the chemical and gas shortages?
It's going to all be about timing. How long is the war going to persist? That is a big question. The longer it persists, the worse the problem is. Is there a short-term solution? Unfortunately, no, because there's not a lot of extra capacity or extra purification capacity that exists in the world right now. It's my educated guess that in order to build more purification, it's going to take at least a half a year to create more or generate more air separation. I think that would be even longer. So there's different parts of the supply chain that are going to be affected if they attempt to replace the Ukrainian and Russia production capacity. It's going to be a big problem. It could ultimately slow down the pace of the chip production that is happening all over the world.